Good morning, everyone. Oh, that's great. I know that we have some people still coming in to join us. I think we're going to have a fabulous meeting today. I came to Auburn Gresham when I was a very young girl. My parents moved there, and I lived there for many, many, many years. We're not going to say how many at this point. But I'm still there every weekend because my parents are still there. So I do go to Auburn Gresham, and I still actually shop on the south side, actually west, a little west. As Robin mentioned, my name is Alicia Williams, and I'm vice president here at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. You see our co-sponsors actually down here on the slide, and we're happy to be co-sponsors with the Greater Chatham Initiative and World Business Chicago. So I thought I would give you a little bit of information about my department that you may or may not know. First of all, we conduct research on community economic development issues. We provide technical assistance on CRA and fair lending laws, and we host programs that focus on access to credit and financial services. For decades, my department has been working to better understand and address impediments to economic mobility and participation in the mainstream economy. Last month, we published a study on minority-owned banks, including Black-owned banks, to analyze the implication of closures for the neighborhoods where these banks traditionally operated. In the past few years, we've completed numerous studies on resources for small business growth, including research on capital access and innovations that enhance opportunities for small businesses in Black neighborhoods, including extensive work in Detroit. In the late 90s, my department rolled out a survey to explore the experiences of Chatham small business owners attempting to access commercial credit. And I was also very surprised. I see the time slide, but we didn't start on time, so I still have a couple more minutes. I'm going to exercise my prerogative here. I also saw today for the first time in a while Keith Tate, and he was one of the persons that was instrumental in helping us get that study done in Chatham. And so building on that work, we produced a series of reports on credit, supplier relationships, and use of financial services among Black households and small businesses. One of our findings from that work was that Chatham business owners relied heavily on family and friends and other alternative sources to finance their businesses, suggesting there was room for expanding access to formal credit among small businesses in Chatham. When the Greater Chatham Initiative Business Development Advisory Group was formed in 2014, members of my team were excited to work with this group, as well as with a number of their newly formed affiliated committees. Our interest today in today's discussion derives from our extensive work to better understand the community's business and financial services environment, and from an appreciation of the history of the Greater Chatham area as a home for Chicago's middle and working class and as a center of Black-owned businesses. We're truly excited about today's program. The people you'll hear from today can give us a nuanced discussion of people and place and a holistic understanding of our communities. The first presenters this morning will share their experiences with using the tools of journalism, social engagement, finance, and the arts to change the narrative of a neighborhood for the better. Later, we will feature a panel of business owners, employers, workforce development specialists, and a community banker who will share strategies to increase business startups, hiring, investments, and resources for education and job training. We will also hear from government officials and civic leaders who will share their ideas on policies and initiatives to ensure equity and economic growth across all Black neighborhoods in Chicago. We recognize that today's discussion is neither the first nor the last word on the subject of business growth and employment in Black neighborhoods. Many of the challenges we observe in Chatham and other neighborhoods undermine their stability. They include low home value appreciation, constrained small business lending and investment, as well as other labor demand factors. Too many in Black neighborhoods in Chicago are disproportionately unemployed or underemployed. The long-term decline in manufacturing and the shrinking of middle-class jobs in Chicago has its origins in policies and structural economic conditions from decades ago, whose impacts continue to be felt today. But as many of you know, several of our communities have unique amenities, which, if fully leveraged, could mitigate or reverse negative factors or negative forces and recast them as neighborhoods of choice and opportunity. We have high-capacity neighborhood organizations and highly engaged residents who have a deep stake in the security, amenities, and livability of our neighborhoods. You will also hear later this morning that the potential of Black businesses is yet to be fully realized. You'll also hear today a market analysis of the greater Chatham area that shows opportunities to build on existing strengths of the region's industry clusters, as well as engage small and medium-sized Black-owned businesses from Chatham and other places in the mainstream regional economy. We hope this discussion will make clear how important it is that residents in every city neighborhood have access to the institutions and services that allow for economic and financial security. We also hope this meeting will identify areas where more ideas, more reforms, more investments are needed for people and businesses in our neighborhoods. So now I'm going to turn the podium over to Nedra Sims-Fears, Executive Director of the Greater Chatham Initiative. She will also welcome you and provide some opening remarks. Thank you.